Welcome friends. In this session, we are dealing with one of the systems of Indian philosophy, namely Nyaya Vaishesika. Introduction. Nyaya Vaishesika is a blend of two systems, namely the Nyaya and the Vaishesika. The two systems were independent in their origin, but the resemblances between these two systems were too much that the expounders of these two systems dealt with them as one. Both the systems have certain common features. Both of them express a pessimistic outlook because they have pointed out that life is full of sufferings. The aim of life, according to them, is moksha or liberation of the jivas. Both believe that moksha implies complete freedom from pain. Again, both of them believe that the cause of pain is lack of knowledge of reality. It is also true that in some aspects these two systems differ. Nyaya is mainly devoted to the study of the sources of knowledge. They had presented only a brief general description of elements, but the Vaisheshika on the other hand give a detailed description of elements. According to Nyaya view, there are 16 categories, but Vaisheshika put forward only 7 categories. Nyaya accepts 4 pramanas or sources of valid knowledge: perception or pratyaksha, inference or anumana, comparison or upamana, and verbal testimony or shabda. Whereas Vaisheshika accept only 2 sources of knowledge or pramanas: perception and inference. Comparison and testimony are included in inference. Realistic and pluralistic. Realists are nearest to materialism and yet are not identifiable with the latter because they accept spirit or mind or soul in distinction from matter, but they do not view the relation between the two dualistically. So, they cannot be called materialistic or spiritualistic or dualistic. They come under the category of realism. Realists accept the existence of various kinds of substances. Nyaya Vaisheshika system is realistic and pluralistic in outlook. It is realistic because it starts with the postulate that all knowledge by its very nature points to an object beyond it, that is, it is an independent object. This implies that the objects exist outside, independent of consciousness, even though it is known only through our consciousness. Again, this system holds that the objects of the world are not only independent of our consciousness or knowledge, but also independent of one another. This assertion makes the system pluralistic. It says that there are many ultimate realities which constitutes the universe. Nyaya put forward logic and epistemology, and Vaisheshika presents metaphysics and ontology. Nyaya. The term Nyaya means logical reasoning or argumentation. The system discussed the problem of knowledge in detail. It is devoted to the exclusive study of the conditions of correct thinking and the means of attaining true knowledge. Study of Nyaya system is useful for students in developing the power of logical thinking and critical attitudes. Nyaya's system is also known by the name Tarka Shastra or the science of reasoning, Pramana Shastra or the science of logic, Vada Vidya or the science of debate, and Anviksiki or the science of critical study. Gautama was considered as the founder of Nyaya system. The basic text of Nyaya system is Gautama's Nyaya Sutra. Nyaya Sutra is divided into 5 adhyayas or books, each containing 2 sections. The other works of the Nyaya system are Vatsyayana's Nyaya Bhashya, Udyodhagara's Nyaya Vartiga, Vajaspati's Nyaya Vartiga Tatparyatiga, Udyana's Nyaya Vartiga Tatparya Shuddhi, and Kusumanjali Jayanta's Nyaya Manjari. Through these works, the authors tried to explain and develop the ideas contained in the Nyaya Sutra and also tried to resist the attack of critics. Thus, the ancient school of Nyaya is a development of the Sutra philosophy of Gautama. The modern school of the Nyaya, known as Navya Nyaya, begins with the work Tattva-Chintamani by Gangesha. The modern school of Navya gives exclusive emphasis on the logical aspects of the Nyaya. Navya school represents its theory of knowledge into a former logic of relation between concepts, terms and prepositions. The arrival of Navya put some dark shades on the popularity of ancient Nyaya school. Later developed a syncretist school of Nyaya philosophy, which is an amalgamation between the Nyaya and Vaishesika system. Though Nyaya system points to the methods and conditions of true knowledge, their ultimate aim is different. Their ultimate end, just like other systems of Indian philosophy, is liberation. For them, liberation means the absolute cessation of all suffering. Nyaya system put forward the conditions and methods of true knowledge for attaining this ultimate end of life. So, one can rightly say that the Nyaya, like other Indian systems, is a philosophy of life. For the convenience of our study, Nyaya philosophy may be divided into 4 parts: A. The theory of knowledge, B. The theory of physical world, C. The theory of individual self and its liberation, and D. Theory of God. But basically, Nyaya philosophy tried to explain 16 philosophical subjects. The 16 philosophical subjects are Pramana, Prameya, Samshaya, Prayojana, Drishtanta, Siddhanta, Avyava, Tarka, Nirnaya, Vada, Jalpa, Vedanta, Hedvabhasa, Chala, Jati and Nirgrahasthana. Pramana. Pramana is the way of attaining true knowledge. It includes all methods of knowledge. Among the philosophical topics, Nyaya gives primary importance to Pramana. It accepts 4 separate sources of true knowledge: perception or pratyaksha, inference or anumana, comparison or upamana, and testimony or shabda. All these will be explained more fully in the next unit. Prameya. It literally means an object of true knowledge. According to Nyaya system, the objects of knowledge are the self or Atma, the body or Sharira, which is the foundation for all organic activities, the sense organs and the feelings. The sense organs, the object of sense organs, smell, taste, color, touch and sound, cognition or knowledge. Mind or manas, which is the internal sense organ. Mind is like an atom and is one in each body. Activity or pravarti, there are 3 types: vocal, mental and bodily. Mental defects or dosha, attachment or raga, hatred or desha and infatuation or moha. Rebirth after death or pretaya bhava, which is the result of our good or bad actions. The experience of pleasure and pain, which originate from the activities of mental defects. Suffering or dukkha, liberation or freedom from suffering. Samshaya or doubt, it points to uncertainty. Samshaya originates when the mind is wavering between different conflicting views in connection with the same objects. Doubt is not error, it is not mere absence of knowledge and is not certain knowledge. On the other hand, it is a positive state of cognition of different conflicting views about the same thing at the same time. Prayojana or an end in view. Man acts either to obtain desirable objects or to avoid undesirable ones. These acts are included within the field of prayojana. Drishtanta or an example. It is an undisputed reality which is useful to illustrate a general rule. Drishtanta has got an important part in reasoning. Siddhanta or a doctrine. Siddhanta is a doctrine that is accepted as truth in a system or school. Avyava or a member of the syllogism. It may be one of the premises of the syllogism. Tarka or hypothetical argument. It is a kind of supposition or uha which is helpful to the attainment of valid knowledge. Nirnaya or certain knowledge. It is an attainment of truth about something by means of any of the sources of knowledge. Vada or discussion. Discussion is always based on accepted pramanas. A discussion should not go against any accepted doctrine. The objective of a discussion is attainment of truth. Jalpa or wrangling. It is similar to discussion, but the aim of Jalpa is not attainment of truth. In Jalpa, each party aims at victory. So, the parties may make use of invalid reasons and arguments. Vedanta or a kind of debate. In Vedanta, the opponent is mainly interested in refuting the viewpoints of others' position. Hedvabhasa or Hedu or reason. In general, it means fallacies of inference. Chala or unfair reply. It is an attempt to contradict a statement by taking it in a sense other than the intended sense. Jati. According to Nyaya system, Jati means an unfair reply based on false analogy. Nigrahasthana. The ground of defeat in debate. If someone in a debate have wrong understanding or want of understanding, he may be forced to point where he should admit defeat. Vaishesika. The term Vaishesika is derived from the word Vishesha, which means particularity, excellence or distinction or superior to or distinct from. The Vaishesika is so called because, according to its followers, this system excels other systems. Some others believe that the system is so named because Vishesha as a category of knowledge has been elaborately discussed by the system. Kanada or Kashyapa was considered as the founder of Vaisheshika system. He was named as Kanada because he led the life of an ascetic and used to live on grains of corn collected from the field. He was also named Uluga. Vaisheshika system is also known as the Kannada or Alukya system. The earliest work of the school is attributed to the founder of the school itself and is called Vaisheshika Sutra. It is divided into 10 adhyayas, each consisting of 5 sections. Prashastapada's Padartha Dharma Sangraha, usually known as Bhashya, is an independent work of Vaisheshika philosophy. Vyomashegara's Vyomavadi, Udhyayana's Kiranavali and Sridhara's Nyaya Kandali are 3 important commentaries on Prashastapada's work. Categories or Padarthas. The chief doctrine of the Vaisheshika system relates to the categories. A category or Padartha is what can be known, validly cognized and named or denoted. Padartha literally means the meaning of a word, a nameable and denotable thing. Shivaditya, one of the pioneers of Nyaya Vaisheshika system, wrote a very useful manual, Saptapadarthi, in which he combined the Nyaya epistemology and the Vaisheshika doctrine of categories. Shivaditya defined Padarthas as the object of knowledge. Vaisheshika system says that there are many ultimate realities and each ultimate reality has a special characteristic or Vishesha of its own. The various objects of our experience are classified into 7 categories. Originally, 6 categories were recognized. Later on, non-existence, a negative category, was added as the 7th category because it too is an object of knowledge. So, altogether there are 7 categories, 6 positive and 1 negative. The 7 categories are: number 1, substance or dravya, number 2, quality or guna, number 3, action or karma, number 4, generality or universal or samanya, number 5, particularity or vishesha, number 6, inherence or samavaya, number 7, non-existence or abhava. Substance or dravya. Substance is the principal category as it includes all things living as well as non-living. It is defined as the substratum of qualities and actions and as the inherent or material cause of a product without it. Quality and action can have no existence. Substance are 9 in number: earth, prithvi, water, aap, fire, tejas, air, vaya, ether, akasa, time, kala, space, dik, self, atman, mind, manas. The first 5 substances possess specific qualities and can be perceived by our sense organs. Special qualities are earth, smell, nose; water, taste, tongue; fire, color, eyes; air, touch, skin; Akasa, sound, ears. The first 4 substances, namely earth, water, fire and air, are atomic in their ultimate state and are infinite. Again, first 4 are beginningless also because they are not composite and consequently are eternal. But all the substances joined by the conjunction of these atoms are not eternal because their constant atoms can be separated. Atomism. According to the theory of atomism, the physical universe is reducible into atoms, and these are the smallest indivisible eternal particle of matter. The various objects of this universe are composed of parts and they are subjected to production and destruction. Any composite object is divisible into parts. But if the process of division goes on endlessly, it will lead to infinite regress. So, it must stop when we reach the minimum divisible. This minutest particles of matter is called atoms. The Vaishesika philosophers express the view that all composite objects of the universe are composed of atoms of earth, water, fire and air. These atoms differ qualitatively. Earth has the distinctive quality of smell, water, taste, fire, color and air, touch. The atoms are globular in size, they are non-spatial and they have no inside and outside. Out of these non-spatial atoms, things occupying space were created. This is possible because of the particular number and arrangement of atoms. The particular number and arrangement of atoms in different objects are different. Creation means the combination of atoms in different proportions and destruction means the dissolution of such combinations. The material cause of the universe is the eternal atoms. The atoms differ from one another not only in quality but also in quantity. The atoms are inactive and motionless in themselves. Motion is given to them by the unseen power. They began to vibrate and quickly changes to dyads. A dyad is originated by the combination of 2 atoms. Here, the atoms are the inherent cause, conjunction is its non-inherent cause and the unseen power is its efficient cause. When 3 dyads are combined, we have a triad. This is the smallest visible substance. When the triad group in different ways, the various objects are produced. There are many points of similarity between Vaishesika atomism and Greek atomism. Both Vaishesika and the Greek regarded the atoms as indivisible, partless, imperceptible and are the material cause of this world, but they differ in certain other points. The Greeks accepts only quantitative differences in atoms, but Vaishesika accepts both quantitative and qualitative differences. Greek atomists believed that the motion was inherent in atoms, but according to Vaishesika, motion is imparted to them by the unseen power. Greek view was materialistic, while the Vaishesika view is guided by the spiritual law. Ether. The fifth substance, ether, is an element like the first 4, but it does not consist of atoms. It is the basis of sound. It is infinite and does not produce anything. Time and space are infinite substances like ether. They cannot be directly perceived, but can be known by inference. Self. Nyaya Vaisheshika system believes that there are spiritual as well as material substances constituting the universe. The self, which is the 8th in the category, is considered as a spiritual entity. The self is omnipresent and eternal, but it is limited by the physical body or psychophysical organism with which it is associated during transmigration. The attributes of self are cognition, desire, aversion, volition, pleasure, pain, merit, demerit, etc. These attributes are adventitious, so they are not always present in it. In the state of release, the self has no attributes at that time even consciousness is not present in it. Knowing, feeling, willing, etc. are conditions of the self, and they are provided by the physical organism with which the self is associated for the time being. This view of the self is essentially different from the view held by Upanishads, and this system is more close to materialism than the Upanishads critics ask, if consciousness is not the essential nature of the self, can we say that it is material? The answer is that it is not material, because material objects can't have consciousness, feeling, willing, etc. even as their adventitious qualities. Mind. Mind, which is the last substance, is atomic and eternal. Unlike the first four, it does not give rise to any product. Each self has its own mind, which is considered only as an instrument of knowing. Without the manas, the self does not know anything. With the help of the manas, the self may become conscious, may know objects, may feel, and asserts itself. This is the difference between self and matter. Matter is absolutely incapable of such accomplishments. So, we find that the really spiritual element in Nyaya Vaisheshika theory is not exactly the self, but the attributes belonging to the self. In this system, consciousness, feeling, willing, etc. are not the attributes of the self, but the self possesses these only if the manas is present. So, the manas is indispensable for the presence of the attributes of the self. Quality or guna. The Vaisheshika defines quality as that which is subsumed under the genus of quality and inheres in a substance, but which is itself devoid of quality and also of action, and at the same time differs from substance in not being an unconditional cause of conjunction and disjunction. This points out that quality is not self-existent, but is dependent upon substance for its existence. 24 qualities are listed among them, some are material and others spiritual. The qualities are color, taste, smell, touch, sound, number, magnitude, conjunction, disjunction, remoteness, proximity, cognition, pleasure, pain, desire, aversion, effort, heaviness, fluidity, viscosity, tendency, merit and demerit. Some qualities are common and others are special qualities of single substance. Karma or action. Karma has a special sense in the Vaisheshika system. It means physical motion. Karma is defined as that which resides only in one substance, is devoid of qualities, and is the direct and immediate cause of conjunction and disjunction. There are 5 kinds of motion: upward, downward, contraction, expansion and locomotion. Universal or Samanya or Jati. Samanya is the common or general feature that resides in all the members of a class. An individual becomes a member of a class if he possesses the common characteristics of that particular class. Manas, animality, etc. are examples of Samanya. There are different kinds of objects. These objects come into existence for a short period and then pass away. Unlike the physical objects, Samanya is one and eternal. It resides in the many. Men are born and die after living a short period. But Manas, which is common to all mankind, is eternal. The Samanya has its own independent reality. It is not dependent upon the particulars. Samanya can be compared to Plato's theory of ideas. Samanya resides in substance, qualities and activities. The relation between Samanya and the individual is inherence. Particular or Vishesha. It is the quality which distinguishes one individual from another. It is the differentium of ultimate things which are otherwise alike. Thus, 2 atoms of the earth are alike in every respect. At the same time, there should be a special quality in each of them which makes it distinct from the rest. The distinguishing feature is known as Vishesha. There are innumerable Visheshas. The particularities differentiate not only the ultimate substance from one another, but also themselves. Inherence or Samavaya. Samavaya is the intimate relation between inseparables. The entities which it relates are inseparable that is, at least one of them cannot remain without its reaction to the other. Vaisheshika presented 5 kinds of inseparables: substance and quality, substance and action, particular and universal, eternal substance and particularity, whole and parts. Non-existence or negation or abhava. Abhava stands for all negative facts. It implies the negation of something somewhere. There are 4 kinds of non-existence. Pragabhava. This is the non-existence of a product. Example, pot before its production. It is without beginning but comes to an end when the object in question is produced. Pradvamsabhava. This is the non-existence of a thing after it is destroyed. It has a beginning but no end. Anyonya bhava. Another name for it is difference or bheda. In statements like A is not B, the significance of not is reciprocal non-existence. This type of non-existence is eternal. Atyanta bhava. When we say there is no elephant in a sea, it is a case of atyanta bhava. This type of non-existence is also held to be eternal. Now let us summarize what we have discussed today. Nyaya Vaisheshika, one among the orthodox systems, has got a prominent place in Indian philosophy. It gives very much importance to science of reasoning. It is generally considered as Indian logic. Nyaya Vaisheshika system is realistic and pluralistic. It believes in many realities. The various objects of our experience are classified into 7 categories. This system accepted both spiritual and material substances. Self is considered as a spiritual substance. The material cause of this universe is the eternal atoms, and the atoms are the smallest indivisible eternal particles. There are few assignments for you to work out. Explain Vaisheshika categories. Discuss Vaisheshika categories of substance, quality and action. Discuss the Paramanuvada of Vaisheshika system. Compare the atomic theory of Nyaya Vaisheshika with that of Greeks. Hope you have followed this session. We will continue our discussion in the next session. Till then, goodbye.